Brandon and I, and Jill, don't forget Jill, we're currently doing some dirt work. He's actually doing some welding. I'm moving dirt right now on the skid steer up here at the club. We've had this last little project here to do for some time now. So today was the day it needed to get done because they're going to start flooding before long. And this piece we're putting in is a crucial part of what they're going to flood. So, I'm going to show you just a little bit of what Brandon's doing today because he's doing the majority of it. Like I said, I'm just moving some dirt. And then a lot of what we're doing today I'll actually put in tomorrow's video. So, enjoy today's video. Dad and I cut some water oak this morning. We did pretty good. I mean, all the trees we're cutting are just big. They're older trees. A lot of them are showing health issues, signs of decline, so that's why we're cutting them. Because up here, a lot of the water oak they want to keep just because of the food for ducks and deer. I'd say more for ducks rather than the deer, but regardless, they're keeping them for the production, acorn production. So, enjoy today's video. Thanks a lot for following along. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Check us out on all of our socials, Turner Logging LLC, Instagram, Facebook, and right here on YouTube. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good weekend. Pulling up here, Brandon, he's welding that thing on there on the tube we installed. And it's kind of, like I said, a lot of these deals will be shifted to low gear there. Let me, I'll explain kind of what's going on here real quick. See, when we first did this, we installed this new culvert and built this levee up, you know, built on dirty windows. I know, I'm sorry. We built this levee, extended the levee, and put this new tube in. Well, this monstrosity, it looks like it's off a submarine, and it's about how much it weighs. This is to regulate the depth of the water over here on the side they're going to flood. Now, when these guys ordered this, they got, I mean, it's really too big for what they need. I mean, ridiculously too big. And how they wanted it to mount, or how it was supposed to mount, wasn't exactly the best way. It involved a rubber grommet. You know, it wasn't a good deal. So we just moved that thing in there, and Brandon's welding up solid. Now, we did have to take some 1-inch base rock and put out there. I mean, you can kind of see out in it. We put some 1-inch base out there, and that kind of made that a little more sturdier for that thing to sit on, because it'll settle. I mean, we had to pack it down pretty good, and you know, just kind of keep adding and make sure we got it level before we installed that thing. But originally out there was kind of a little pit or pool we dug for the water to kind of rest in when it all drains, because all this area out there here, it drains into that low spot right there that collects, that water can flow on down like through these drainage ditches that were already kind of there. I mean, we cut that one out a little more, but there was already a drainage ditch in place. We just kind of dug it out and cleaned that drainage all the way out to the river where this will drain faster. But so their idea of having a pool out here, it kind of went to the wayside because we had to fill that up with that base rock, so that would kind of sit there and not move, because as heavy as that thing is, I don't know what that thing weighs, but this 289 skid steer, I could pick it up, but the back of the machines won't come off the ground, so it's pretty heavy. I mean, it's a pretty heavy, I think it's 5/8 wall. I mean, it's solid as a rock. I mean, it's a big piece of iron. So Brandon's welding all that solid right now, and he's got his welding rig over here. And the other one, not Jill, the rig itself. But, but yeah, he's getting that welded up. Then when we're done all this dirt, we're gonna build kind of a walkway where they can get out there, because there's a set of traps in there. And some of you guys know about flood control or duck lakes and any of that stuff. You might know what the actual thing or name of this thing is called. But there's a bunch of little like boards in there, and that's how they regulate where they want the water to be, or how high or how shallow, how deep, whatever the water. So we're going to build the walkway where they can get right out there and flip that top of that thing over, and there's some kind of little metal deal, which it's laying, you can kind of see it laying down there, right there, that thing. That's what they use to pull the boards out of there to release the water, or, you know, hold back more water, whatever you want to call it. So, learn a lot. I mean, I didn't know there was so much involved in duck hunting, but we're getting an education on that, which the dirt work, I mean, it's fun. It's a fun project. It's been a lot of fun, especially learning some new things with this stuff. And we're hoping it will kind of lead to more things in the future up here for the clubs. But we're spending our Saturday evening doing this rather than out kicking up our heels and having a good time. The life of, you know, the 30 life, I guess. Brandon's about to fire back up. I think that might be all the dirt. I'm gonna go get one more bucket full of dirt. I'm getting this dirt out here, this borrow pit we had, or made for when we added onto this levee. And we still had some loose dirt out here, so I'm trying to kind of just skim off the top, and it takes, you know, a pass or two each time to kind of get your dirt, because I don't want to dig and get unlevel and gouge into the ground and make it uneven. So I'm just trying to use the cutting edge on the bucket to kind of peel back dirt each time I make a pass on it. The less we tear up, the less we have to fix. Now we're tracking everything in, kind of compacting it. We've got our little walkway built on out here to where they can get out here and pull the boards on their drain valve. We'll just kind of track it in now, pack all that down good, make it look good. Doesn't look very steep, but when you go to try to climb out with skid steer, it's pretty steep here. Of course, we're not trying to climb, we're just packing. Feeling to feel the front end kind of get light. That little bit there. The boss here giving me my orders. Over here. Kind of soft over here. See if we can get this last little clump. That looks a lot better. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now we will climb out of here. Oh boy. We've traded positions here real quick. Brandon said he wanted to smooth that up over there. We're gonna get down here and kind of look at this thing. It's, like I said, this is where we built the pit, like a holding pit where this gravel in this thing actually sets. Now the water will, like I said, these boards, this will fill up with water however high or whatever, I guess. Like I said, I'm not an engineer. I kind of have to adjust to how all this is going to work, but these boards here, that's what will control how deep they have it out through here, because they can take each one of those out, and I think each one of them is 12 inches. So they can pull each one of those boards out of there, control the depth of the water out here in the timber where they flood the duck hunt. Like I said, this is all, before we ever come along, this was all shot. And they've got it where it'll drain right to here. Of course, they've got some drainage ways out in there you can't really see right now because of the vegetation, but I think you can see some of them in our YouTube videos of us working in here. But all this stuff just drains drains right in through here. Drains to this whistle, of course. Got the big levee here. Pretty neat deal, really, how they've got it all set up. They've spent a lot of time and money building this place into what it is. I mean, what we've done for them is just a small drop in the bucket compared to what's already been done. All the levees, the waterways, the control boxes for water levels. I mean, there's 3 or 4 different water holding areas, different ponds more or less they flood in this property. And they've, like I said, years ago they had it all shot to grade where it drained right. And I mean, they spent a lot of time and money here for sure. Kind of slick up the road, clean the road up a little bit. It was a fun, neat project. I really enjoy doing stuff like this because it's something, you know, to kind of get out of my ordinary daily routine of cutting timber. I really enjoy doing dirt work. You know, like I said, he's the brains, our head engineer, chief operations manager. And I'm just kind of the laborer, but I'm fine with that because he knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. And he just kind of tells me and shows me what needs to be done, and I do it. At the same time, he teaches me a lot too about, you know, doing stuff with this equipment, because like I said, I'm not a dirt guy. I didn't grow up being a dirt guy. The closest thing to being a dirt guy I ever was playing in the dirt when I was a kid with Tonka toys. And Brandon's done a lot of it before, and it's fun to get to learn to do some of it and kind of see your projects come together. It's pretty neat stuff. Using the float option there on the skid steer, that's pretty nice. You can go through there and just kind of knock a lot of that loose debris off the top, just kind of pick it up, clean the road up a lot. He can pack it over here like he is now and kind of fill in some low areas or just get it out of the way. I know in the last, I think I've had that cat right at going on 14 months now. I've been extremely happy with that Caterpillar. I've had some guys trying to get me to try Takahachis, or however you pronounce it. I've had guys trying to get me to try the Takahachis, the Gales, and I'm sure they're good machines. I really am, but the only other machine on the skid steer side I'd possibly go with would be a Deere. But I'm pretty sold on Cat right now. I really am. Like I said, I'm not saying the other guys don't make a good machine. I'm sure they do, but I'm really fond of that Cat machine right there.